Hello everybody, it's FarmSim Guy here, hope you're all doing well. We are back with a tutorial which we haven't done for a while, and the reason for that is because Courseplay has been very much in development up until now, and I think now it's starting to stabilise off. The changes that are coming through are a lot less big in terms of adding new functionality and things like that. So now is the time, I feel, that it's probably right to start doing a few tutorials. Now this is going to be a slightly different way of doing tutorials than I've done in the past. I'm going to start focusing on specifics in tutorial videos. So this one today, we are going to look at how you can automate Courseplay and Autodrive to work together for Forage Wagons. Now, this is I would say, intermediate tutorial level. And I would expect you to already have the basics of Courseplay and Autodrive down. Now, I have done an Autodrive beginner's tutorial already. I haven't done one for Courseplay yet, but there are some fantastic ones out there, so definitely worth checking those out if you haven't done anything with Courseplay before. But what I'll do here, I'm going to very quickly go through the basics, how to set these up. So even if you haven't used Courseplay and Autodrive before, if you follow the steps that I put into this video, you should get along pretty well with it. And I always say, when it comes to tutorials, play around, have a play with some of the different settings and stuff like that. If you break it, it's no biggie, go back and start again. I would say don't do it on a save game that you've got lots of hours on as well. Make sure that you do it on a setup test map or something like that, so any errors that you make won't cause you any grief further down the line. So first things first, we are on Green Valley, the brilliant map from DJ Modding. We have there a silo, which is a fermenting silo, and what we're going to do, we're going to mow this field here. It is grass, it's ready to harvest, so we're going to put the mower in it with a Courseplay course on, just to get it done, and then we will show you how you can use a windrower course to help you pick up your forage into the forage wagon, deliver it to the fermenting silo, and then return to the field and pick up where it left off. So, let's jump in, let's get this mowing done, and then we will be back. So we jump into the escape menu here. It is this steering wheel here. It's built in to the AI workers menu now in FS22. And what we'll do here, we'll hit create job, and you'll see what pops up here is the option for fieldwork, go to, which are your two in-game AI helpers, and then the third option here is CP Fieldwork. Now you see what's happened, because we're already inside the boundaries of the field, it's detected the field edge, which is fantastic. So you don't need to do anything else. As long as you've got a start waypoint, you don't need to do anything else. You can play around with these if you want to, but there's no requirement to. Like I said, I'm going to keep this as easy as possible so you can follow the steps and hopefully get it to work the same way that I have. Okay, the next step, open, close, course generator. You're working with should be set already. We're only got one tool on, number of headlands. Because we've got wide mowers on here and a lot of space around the field with no trees and stuff, we're just going to go for one headland. Now if you're doing something like combines, I would recommend you maybe go up to 3 or 4. Again, if you've got trees close to the edge of the field as well, bump up the number of headlands. That'll cause you less issues when you get to the up and down rows. Everything else I'm going to leave the same because they're pretty decent settings in FS22, and of course you generally very few issues. So what we'll do now, I'll just move this over here so you can see it. We've got generate fieldwork course at the bottom. So if I click on this, you'll see it's created the course. So the border around the outside and then the up and down rows. So now I can close this course generator. Now your options are, you can start the job from here just by hitting the spacebar or clicking down here. What we're going to do though, we're going to come out of here, because if we hit the delete button, you can also bring up this little menu here, switch this to first waypoint and hit the play button here, and everything kicks in and away it goes. You can see there's the start of the course. You can remove that if you want to at any point by just clicking on the name of the tractor and turning off that. Open HUD with mouse as well is another setting I like to turn off. Stops you clicking the right mouse button and bringing up that little menu. And that is about it. So we will let him push on. We'll get this field mowed, and then we'll set up the windrower and we will set up the forage wagon. So we'll see you shortly. Okay, so there we go. We have got a very nice cut field of grass there. Now all we're going to do is park this here, that is that job done with that tractor, and we are going to jump straight into our windrow here on this John Deere. Now I've got the big Crone Swadrow here, probably a little bit big for this field, but what it'll do is give me some nice big swaths that then I can demonstrate the speed of loading up the forage wagon. So what we'll do this time, we'll run up and down the field first, and then we'll finish on the headland, so we get a nice swath round the headland of the field for the next stage. So again, as we did before, hit the escape button. Our tractor is selected here, we will click on it, we will click create job, again go to Courseplay Fieldwork, and everything is fine here. We'll open the Courseplay course generator. Now the difference here, we will still only do one headland, but this time we will start work on the centre, which is the up and down rows. Again, everything else we're going to leave the same. So we're going to generate our fieldwork course, as you can see there, slightly bigger between the lines because of the width of this piece of equipment. So that is all looking good. We'll close the course generator, we will escape out of here, and we will set our course off. We will pull up our mini menu here, we'll make sure it's switched to first waypoint again, and we will hit go. Now I'd already unfolded it, which was silly, because it will fold itself up and it will head to the start point, which I do believe is way over on the other side of the field. We'll let him do that. Now while he's doing that, this is the important bit, you need to save this course, because you're going to use this course. This is the course that's going to be what we use for the forage wagon. Now back in the menus here, we want to click on this icon here. Now you'll see we have a Field 16 Swadrow course set up already from a previous game. But what we want to do here, I would always recommend you create folders, a folder for each field here. So you can do that by clicking the button down the bottom or hitting the C button here. Once you have that folder, you can select whichever folder you want. It doesn't really matter which one you want to put it in, but obviously if you're on Field 16, save them in the Field 16 course. That means you've just got options there. You can save a combine course in there, you can save a baling course in there, you can save a windrower course in there, and so on and so forth. So what we do now, click on Field 16, we will click Save Course and activate, and what we'll call this is Swadrow 2, so we know that's our new course. And that is it done. Okay, back out of the menus. Now he's running his course here. We will leave him to it. We're going to jump over to the forage wagon and we're going to set up the Autodrive course. So here we are in the case with the rather nice LSWs on it, and we're going to move ourselves into a position near to the field. And what we'll do is we'll stop here. We'll bring up the Autodrive menu. I have put this on large for now so you can see what we're doing. And what we're going to do, we're going to create a very simple course here. What you do is you go into edit mode, and we'll start recording, and we will roll forward a couple of notches, let's say to there. We will give this a target name, and we'll call this Field 16 weight. Of course, not just for the purposes of this, but as we add to the course, that Field 16 weight could become a very handy little waypoint as well. And then we will roll down here, and what we're going to do, we're going to find a trigger point at the silo. We'll turn down here, find an unload point. So there's our trigger there. And I've said this before in other tutorials, what I suggest is making sure you roll quite a long way past the trigger. What you don't want is your trailer to come up short when you're unloading. So I'm going to set it, maybe even another one, there we go. And we're going to call this Forage Unload. There we go. And then we just carry on with our course, loop round. Back up the hill here. And we will just pull off the road here and head towards Field 16 weight over here. So we'll hit the stop button there, click on here to join your course up, and that is the course sorted for us. We don't need to do anything else with that just now, so we will just wait for the windrower to finish. Okay, so there we go. Here comes our windrower just finishing off the course there, so we'll let him stop there. We will jump out of the case for a second, and we will just move the windrower off the field before we set up stage 3. Okay, let's jump back into the case now. Now, the first thing we want to do here is make sure we load up our Courseplay course. So Swadro 2 is our Courseplay course. We're going to load that course in, and we're going to activate it. There we go. So we know that is now working. You can see the stop and the start over there on the other side are in, so it's registered those. Now what we need to do here is turn off edit mode, and what you'll see now is a little Courseplay icon. So what we're going to do here is turn that icon on. We're also going to change this, because what we want to do now is use field 16 weight here as our pickup point. We want to use forage unload as our unload point, and we are picking up grass. So what happens now is we will run to field 16 weight, which is just there. He will find his point, and straight away he is switched over to Courseplay, and he's going to run the course. Now the reason that we load the windrower course in, even though it's much wider than the forage wagon, what it'll do is calculate that the tractor is in the middle of that wide course, so it will continue to use that as the center point, which means that he will always run with the forage wagon in the middle of the course. So here he is rolling around to the start of the course, and he should run centrally along the line and start to pick up. There you go, it's dropped down there, and it is picking up grass perfectly. Now what we'll do, we'll let this run till it's full, just so you can see what happens when it does get full, and we will then run it round to the unload point. Now bear in mind again that I am not touching anything here. I'm just letting this run and do its own thing. It's even lifting the pickup as it turns, but it's not affecting the headland, and it will drop again. There, you saw it go there, and there it goes onto row number 2. So we'll let him run for a few minutes, and we'll come back when the forage wagon is full. Okay, we're creeping up to 95% very quickly. I expect we'll fill up on this pass. In fact, there we go, 100% already. Now what will happen is the forage wagon will roll back over to the start of the course. It'll head back to field 16 weight. You'll be able to tell that by the part that's highlighted in Autodrive here, so this will always tell you which is the point that it's heading to at the moment. Once it reaches there, it will switch over to forage unload. Let's just watch that as it does that. You'll see forage unload switch to be the live target, and then we'll hopefully run down, unload, head back and find the correct point in the field. Just aligning it. In fact, what I'll do, I'll turn edit on again, so there you go. There's field 16 weight. It's triggered that, recognised that, and it's now moved to forage unload, which you'll see is where we are heading now. We'll let him run down to the bottom of the hill here. Hopefully we've nailed this, and I'll hopefully give you an idea of what I meant before about putting the trigger point beyond the unload point, because what you'll see is once it detects it, it will stop the tractor at that point rather, there you go, rather than rolling all the way forward. It's a nice little touch in Autodrive that it does that. But we'll unload here. We'll let it unload quickly, and then we'll just check that it will go back to the field and pick up where it left off. There we are, rolling away now. rolled over the trigger, so it's switched back to field 16 weight. I'll run up the hill here, get back to field 16 weight, and probably just kick straight back into heading across the field and joining up at the point that it left off. So field 16 weight coming up, we might get a little pause as he arrives at the point. It does slow down quite a bit sometimes as he gets into position. And I think really, you know, this is a very good thing to know what to do if you've got more than one job on the go. Let's say you're in the middle of a harvest and you've also got grass to cut, and it just helps you with those automated running multiple machines on your farm at once, especially with working with grass. It can take a lot of time and a lot of steps in this. Now, of course, we cut the grass and we windrowed it. You can also get mowers like the Viacon or the big Crone that will also put it into windrows for you already, so you can cut a step out there as well. And the only difference you would do there is save your mower course rather than the windrow course. I just wanted to show you this way because it's probably the most likely one you'll do most of the time. But there we go, he just turned back into the field, remembered where he had left off, and has picked up at the same point again. And it really isn't going to take that long to do this field. So there you go, folks, it is as simple as that. Like I said, if you have got no experience of Courseplay or Autodrive before, hopefully these steps will help you get started, but I do strongly recommend you check out some of the beginner tutorials first and foremost. But if you want to dive in and have a go for it as well. Best way to learn is to just jump in at the deep end and see how you go. So from me, the FarmSim guy, I hope you enjoyed that approach for a tutorial. If you did, let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if there's other Courseplay and Autodrive approaches that you would like me to see or like me to address. I know there's a lot of different ways that people use Courseplay and Autodrive together, so let me know what you'd like to see and I'll see if I can do them in future tutorials. But for now, we will let this guy carry on, and we will see you all again very soon. Thank you very, very much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.